Hello, everyone, and welcome to Deloitte's new podcast on cybersecurity training and education. Today, with me, we have Timea Pahi, an associate focusing on cyber exercises and GRC, and Nikola Šnajder, senior manager focusing on cybersecurity strategy. Why is it important in today's landscape to talk about training and education for institutions?
Well, I would say that in the last couple of years, especially after the COVID, we've seen that year over year we have double-digit increases in the cyber attacks. So it's continuously increasing, and I would say in the last year we have, I would say, even 20% year-over-year growth. And although we have, I would say, all the new technologies and tools in place to protect us, to reduce the threat landscape of the institutions, I would say that human factor is still one of the most contributing factors to that breaches. One of the recent information is that we have published in the media is telling us that human factor is contributing to data breaches for over 95%. So human factor is continuously contributing to the data breaches, and I would say that is mostly due to some kind of errors, intentional, unintentional, or some kind of social engineering that's in behind. So I would say that's continuously increasing. And what we see is also that not a lot of companies, especially when we look at our clients, we've seen that I would say 2/3 of clients do not see the need for any education. So they're not seeing any benefit in investing in education of their internal staff. If we talk about role-based trainings for IT guys, security teams, or we're talking about some kind of all staff trainings to raise awareness within that company.
Yes, and to addition to that, thank you, Nikola. We also saw on the Deloitte surveys that in the ranking 2 and 3 is always training and education. If we are looking for how big is the impact of cyber to the company's success, and it is essential. So that's why in this evolving threat landscape, we have to be prepared for the latest threats, and we have to always retrain and train again the employees how to react. And as you said it, Nikola, in the first line of the attack are still the employees. So that's why it is so important to keep moving, because the threat landscape is evolving. Then we have to adapt also the people and enhance their skills.
And do we have the necessary critical cybersecurity competencies?
It's a good question. So what we see in the last years that there is a lack of cybersecurity personnel. So that's why it is also important for companies that they have the ongoing trainings for their employees, and in that case they can on a long term have these people that they can protect their organizations and also the critical services that they are focusing on.
Yeah, I would continue to your thoughts, Timea. I would say that when we talk about our clients, I would say that most of them have, missing a lot of employees dealing with IT. So some kind of IT security specialist, IT specialist. So we're talking about like in the EU, like 500,000 professionals missing. So one way is, as Timea put it, is to invest in current workforce that we have, to make it more professional, to invest in them and their expertise in order for them to be, I would say, have sufficient capabilities to address the current threats, the current needs to I would say, manage the current tools that we have. So technology we are dealing with is continuously changing, so we need to keep in track with that and retest what we know year over year.
How do new technologies like AI come into the picture?
So, as you said, that we have always evolving technologies like AI. AI is a hot topic now, and because of AI, we have a lot of automated attacks. I would say that also we have also in the organization even more information, and the speed of the attacks is also accelerating. So that's why we have to be prepared also on the defense side to take this speed and make also maybe more automated attacks and so on. And if we go back to the training, we have to also prepare for instance, also the SOC analysts and also DORA and NIS2, emphasizing the role-based trainings, for instance, that we have the skilled and trained personnel for their specific roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, I mean, although it's new technology, I would say new trend in the market, and I would say that some of the companies already started to do the trainings, specific targeted trainings, like cybersecurity tabletop exercises, in order to manage those type of the events, some kind of AI threats. So one of our recent example is financial institution that we are working with in the last couple of years. They identified this as a trend. They've seen in the market that there were several compromises in using AI, especially focusing on the management board and I would say individuals which have more information in the public space, on the YouTube and similar channels, with a lot of information is available to the public, and for the attackers it's easy to, I would say, to create sophisticated attacks that can easily trick, even experienced professionals. So I would say, although it's new technology, it's good to start over to see, to, I would say, to do it in advance for you to be aware of the, I would say, potential vulnerabilities that you may have, and so you can have, I would say, at least some time, to specialize and to make you more resilient to those type of the attacks. So training from the management board to the, I would say, professional that we have in organization, as the map put it, SOC analysts who can then support our staff in recognizing those type of the attacks, so we can, I would say, move forward and make us more resilient in the end.
And we were also doing also trainings based on these fake news, fake calls, these deep fakes, and it is also a hot topic for the customers, because what we see also, the third party risk is also there. They are also getting targeted attacks, AI powered attacks, and as you said, also the C-level is getting these AI powered attacks, and that's why we were also doing this awareness raising campaign, that it is so easy to impersonate CISOs of the company, and that's why they have to be sure how to keep moving, that okay, the technology is more advanced, and how to be aware that we should avoid these pitfalls.
Got it. How can the cybersecurity education impact the long-term resilience of companies?
Mm-hmm. So we were talking about that there is a lack of cybersecurity professionals, and also organizations have to think long-term, and that's why it is really important for building up resilience in an organization. So if we are looking for the compliance side, then we have once DORA, Article 11 and 13, that they said that we will need role-based training for the personnel. We are focusing on their critical roles, responsibilities, and we have special education for them. Also in the cyber academy, we make them curriculum that fits their needs and based on their roles. And on the other hand, we have the NIS, Article 20, emphasizes that we need the personal training, focusing on their skills, and not just focusing on the skills, but we have to have that they have the drill. If an incident is happening, that they know what is to do, and they know, okay, this is my responsibility, and this is my place and my time to take an action.
Although the regulation is the main, I would say, enforcer of these new, I would say, educations, it shouldn't be, because I would say, look at the best practice and to see what is the contributing factor to all these attacks, and focus on education. And as Timea put it, make it more customized, because not all educations are for all employees. Make it more targeted and customized for certain types of individuals, certain types of institutions, because some kind of financial institution in various regions may have different threat landscapes. So customize the trainings and exercises based on the specific client, because I would say going with some kind of blanket approach, it may fit some needs in the short term, make you more compliant with certain regulation, but in the end it will make you vulnerable as before. You won't, I would say, reduce any risk that you are facing.
You mentioned the customization. How can we customize cybersecurity training to enhance the learning?
So in the last decades, we have a lot of different things happening, and we never know that, okay, pandemic, the social political situation that can have such a huge impact on organizations. And so there are a lot of real-world examples that provide us really hands-on examples, but there are also lucky organizations that they survive these parts. And for instance, because we have a lot of customers, that's why we have a lot of experience what can go wrong, and in that case we can also make other customers customized scenarios for the training.
Okay. What key regulatory and compliance considerations should we think about in relationship to DORA or NIS2?
We mentioned DORA and NIS2 as the latest regulation that we have, and DORA is already in force. NIS2 is, I would say, coming into force depending on the country we're talking about. But I would say when we have those two regulations, we have strong emphasis on the education as building a resilient organization. So if we talk about DORA regulation, we have specific requirement to have budget in place that has to be approved by the management board or any senior management of the company, to have some kind of awareness training for all staff, and to have trainings to ensure operational resilience. So it's some kind of role-based trainings for each I would say professional organization, whether they're dealing with risk, security issues, handling incidents. So all depending on their, I would say, area of expertise, they need to have sufficient trainings to enhance their capabilities. On the other side, we have NIS2. I would say they're overlapping in those areas because they're both talking about conducting awareness campaigns, to make all staff more aware of the current threats. And in the NIS2, we have highlighted that professionals need to have education. So again, we have some kind of, I would say, repetition, so to speak, in both regulations, focusing on these new educations for that individual. Because if somebody is expert in some area, they can additionally be, educated and trained in their area, and to make them more professional, I would say, and be more, I would say, knowledgeable about the current trends, because they're changing year over year. If we talk about 5 years back, AI was just some kind of a nickname, something that came by, and now we are, I would say, having small children with sufficient capabilities to do something with an AI.
Yeah, thank you, Nikola. So if we are talking about DORA, just to sum up, so we have the Article 11 focusing on the role-based training, and we have Article 11 which mandates that we have to have regular tests on resilience. And it means that not just we have the education and the training for the employees, but we have to make the tests that if something is happening, that everybody knows how to do it. So my favorite example for it, that it is like in a military. So an organization have to do, what is the command? So we have to have a common language, we have to have a chain of commands, and we have to do who is doing what in during an incident. And that's why we need also just not just the theoretical part, but also the practical part, using tabletop exercises or technical exercises to see, that everybody knows their parts and they can protect and defend the attacks that we are facing today on a daily basis. And if we are talking about not just the financial institutes, but we are talking about essential and important entities, then we have NIS2, and there is also the Article 20 that emphasizes that we need the training, the cyber resilience training for the employees. And in the Cyber Academy, we are focusing, as you said, the customized training for these organizations and all these roles. And in that case, they have also the proof, that they already did the trainings and they have already did the tests on a regular basis. So that's why we are going for this holistic view at Deloitte.
And how can Deloitte help, Nikola?
As Timea mentioned, I mean, we are working with multiple clients already, because we have, for example, DORA already in force, and a lot of institutions are I would say, facing or trying to achieve compliance within this year. So we are helping a lot of our clients with education and awareness campaigns for different type of I would say, roles. One of the most, I would say, interesting one is to mention is to have specific educations for the management body of the institutions on the on ICT risk management. I would say in the previous years we had a lot of regulation on risk in the financial institutions, but not that much on ICT risk, which is, I would say, one of the equal ones among those whole family of, for example, of the operational risk. So what we try to, I would say, to show the best practices, best approaches to manage those risks, and how management board can challenge the decision of the, I would say, risk managers, security experts, and so on. So they are familiar with the, I would say, terms, best practices, and they can easily, I would say, empower their organization to deal with the risk in much more, I would say, concrete way. Just not only to have it on a paper. We have risk appetite, risk indicators, and so on, but make it more, more operational, and to really manage those risks and reduce them to the residual level that's sufficient for that organization.
Yeah, and to add, we also help organizations to prove that they are compliant with DORA and NIS2. So this is the holistic view that we are also doing, and doing also the implementation, and we also prepare them for the audit and to make this whole packet that, okay, they are compliant with, and this is the maturity level that we achieved together.
Exactly. I mean, it's not only to create the documents to achieve compliance, it's the implementation of it that's the important thing. And that, as Mea put it, we're trying to, I would say, help the organizations to do the implementation in a smart way, to reutilize the efforts that we have, on other organizations, to make it more, to use the best approaches that we currently see in the market, and do the testing, for example, of incident management, how to respond to certain events, because with DORA and IS2, the incident management is, really, really important, because the deadlines for the reporting, for managing the incidents, are quite low. So each organizations are facing here with a lot of challenges, how to identify those incidents, and how to I would say, contain them. So, and in the end, of course, report them to the regulators. So training on that areas, and not only, I would say, having the documents, but to continue to test how to respond to different type of these events is really, really, I would say, really beneficial to organizations in the end.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of customers has a lot of processes already done. So usually they have ISO 27001 or other compliant requirements already done. So we have to also, as you said, work smart. So they already have this compliant global landscape, and now it's DORA and NIS2 is a new part of it, and we have to see how, for an organization, how to put this part, not to make the whole new effort, just to see what did you achieve by doing ISO certifications, and just put the extra effort and focusing what is a DORA emphasizes on, and then focusing on that missing parts. For instance, like you said, ICT risk management led by the management board and so on, and role-based training. So just focusing on the pillars of the compliant part.
Thank you very much. Hope this was interesting for everyone.
We hope so. Thank you.
Thank you.